In Shadow of War, you will have to fight for fortresses and protect them multiple times before you end the game. Actually, the end of the game consists of 10 stages where all you do is fight to protect your fortresses. This has been dubbed the grind phase. You can search it on Google to see more about it. You just have like 10 stages where you just keep fighting to protect your fortresses. Many people think it's boring. I also think it's boring, and they should have removed that. uh, Always remember that defending a fortress is easier than attacking one. So once you have gained control of a fortress, the best thing to do is to make sure that you do not lose it, because when you lose a fortress, it's about, I mean, it's like 10 times harder to even get it back. When attacking fortresses, the hardest part is the boss battle, where you have to fight the overlord in his throne room. So here are 5 tips to improve your chances of winning the boss, the overlord. These tips were put together with the aim of making sure that you defeat the overlord as quickly as possible, and also providing you an easy way to regain health, because you are going to receive heavy attacks from him and his followers, and you really just can't depend on just, parrying, blocking, or dodging from his attacks or his followers' attacks. So you have to make sure that in the case where your health gets low, there's a way for you to regain your health. So all of these tips will go or will help you achieve that. So for the 5 tips, the first one is that you have to make sure that you study your enemy's strength and weaknesses before you get into the battle. So don't be afraid to, pause the game, check it up. Even when you're fighting, if you forget what weakness he has or what other strength he has, you can always pause again. And I mean, like, this is one of the greatest things you're going to do while playing Shadow of War. You keep pausing the game and checking up stuff. So you have to check what he's immune to, and then also what his weaknesses are. So he may be immune to many things, but he may have one weakness which you can exploit to defeat him. The second tip is that after you have checked up, his weaknesses and his strength, you have to make sure that you strategize on your gear and upgrades. So higher weapons or weapons with higher damage don't always translate to being better for the particular boss you want to defeat. So for example, if you have a weakness for curses, you have to make sure that you pick a weapon that one of its trait is that it, maybe, after 20 hits there's a curse, or every critical hit is a curse. Or if he's immune to curses but weak to fire, you pick a weapon that has, a fire property, and attack him with that. That will deal more damage to him than using a weapon of higher damage, which doesn't necessarily have one of his weaknesses as a property. Then the third thing is, while you have gotten into the chamber and you are fighting with him, you want to look around. There's always a ledge at the top. One thing is, meanwhile, while playing the game, if you climb on higher ground, most of the time the enemies will follow. Like if you climb a tower, enemies will follow. In this case, in the Overlord's throne room, when you climb onto this higher ledge, his followers don't follow you up there, neither does he. So while up there, that's a chance for you to like rest, maybe replan your game, maybe anything you want to do. And then there's always an archer up there, so you can also use that archer, like a health upgrade or a way to replenish your health each time you have fought down and you find it hard to, like, take time and absorb health from one of his followers because others are attacking you. You can run up, climb that ledge, absorb the health out of the archer that is found up there, and that's the best way you can replenish your health. There's no other way which you can replenish your health except from absorbing it from others. And when you are fighting an overlord, his followers attack you time and again, so it's hard to waste time absorbing health from somebody. The best way is to run up onto that ledge and you absorb it from the archer. Even if you kill that archer, the overlord is going to respawn him, so don't be afraid. Just go ahead, absorb his health. If he dies, you can keep on fighting. The overlord is going to respawn him up there. You can rush, climb the ledge again, absorb his health, and come back and keep fighting. Also, this is an opportunity for you to stand from up there and then shoot him with arrows, because he's not going to reach up there. You can stand from there and shoot him with arrows down. When your arrows are finished, you can run back down to collect arrows and then run up again. This is for an overlord that is weak to range attacks. Some overlords are immune to them, so arrows will do nothing to them. So in this case, you can go up, replenish your health, calm down, and keep fighting him. Then the fourth tip is that don't focus a lot on followers as they respawn. So the overlord can come in with like 10 people. If you kill all the 10, thinking, you know, when you are done with all the 10, you can then attack the overlord, you are mistaken. When you kill them, by the time you reach to like 2 of his followers left, he's going to respawn again, the same thing. So once you enter there, you have to make sure that most of your focus is on that overlord. And then the fifth but very important tip is this: reserve your summoning skills for the overlord's fight. Don't waste them when you are still fighting outside the throne room. That's when you have attacked the fortress. You first of all fight in the surrounding, in the compound, before you get into the throne room. Try not to use your summoning powers, like summoning for a drake, or summoning for a grog, or summoning for a carrigo, or even followers. You want to keep these powers and then try as much as possible to fight outside without needing the summoning powers. And then when you get into the throne room, you summon people, because when you get into the throne room, your followers from outside don't get in, you alone get in. So the only way to get help when fighting inside the throne room is to summon an animal or to summon your followers in. If you get in and you don't have your summoning powers, you are fucked. Another reason to keep your summoning powers is because you may be fighting an overlord who is weak to animals. So you want to make sure that as you get in, you can summon a grog, or you can summon a carrigo. If it's his fear is going to frighten him, and you can fight. But there's no other way you are going to meet a carrigo in there unless it's his own, and then it's harder to start fighting. And so you have to make sure that you're able to bring yours. So if you want a drake or you want a grog, that's it. That's the best way to bring them in. You get in with your summoning abilities still available, you summon it inside, and then you fight the overlord. Wish you the best as you play Shadow of War, and I hope these tips will change the way you play the game and make it way easier for you. Subscribe to the channel for more game tips and game videos.
We have shown the Dark Lord our strength. We have taught him the folly of challenging us. Now he knows that the Bright Lord and his army will not be stopped. Mordor!